Ball State football's 2026 roster is complete. Head coach Mike Uremovich talking about this group. Coach, it's an exciting day for this roster to be built. I know you guys have put in a lot of work to get to this point.
Yep.
How excited are you for this?
I'm excited. You know, we obviously talked about our high school commitments in December that we had, and a bunch of those guys are mid-year enrollees have showed up already, along with the transfers that we added. You know, it's a lot of work to put together a recruiting class, from our football staff to our recruiting staff to our compliance staff on campus, academics, our administration giving us the resources to go recruit and attract these guys here. So I'm really fired up about it and excited to get to work with most of them in the spring.
When you look at this class, what was the priority going into it?
We had to get better everywhere, and that's always going to be our plan in recruiting. Is obviously you have to address needs that you have either from graduation or guys that have entered the portal leaving here. But we brought in guys at every single position group on our roster, and just about every position group has some young high school talent as well as some transfers that we brought in.
How much time do you sit there refreshing the Excel sheets in the portal season?
Well, we have a thing called an allocation sheet in which you're looking at it's not a depth chart, it's just the number of players you have at each position and their age and where they're at. And Wilson, Ellie, and I were excited to close that thing at the end of last week when it was all done, because it was just up on the screen in my office for 6 weeks, really. And like I said, I can't say enough about our staff, because we put a lot of work into the vetting process of recruiting these guys. And when you go into the transfer portal, you have to do your homework. You got to talk to their position coach. You got to talk to their high school coach. The nice thing about this group of guys we're bringing in is the vast majority of them, we've recruited them at some point before, or we have a really good relationship with their high school coach or college position coach. So we know who we're bringing in the door, and they're guys that are excited to be at Ball State.
You talk about wanting to get better at every single position with guys graduating, hitting the portal. From a defensive standpoint, defensive line was a huge returning piece from last year and had to fill a lot of spots this year. How'd you attack that?
We went after the D-line pretty good. I thought we did a really good job. Coach Schwicke did a great job. We got several interior guys as well as defensive ends, and we have a bunch of good returners at that position, you know, and I think people, you're addressing needs in the portal, but you're also trying to strengthen your strengths. You're trying to continue to get better at every position. So I really like the guys we have coming back on the D-line. I love the young guys. I think they're going to be the future of our program, and that's where we're going to be built on the lines, and it takes time for the high school players. That's why we'll always recruit those kids. But the transfers we have coming in can make an impact right away.
And you talk about the lines, offensive line, a strength of the recruiting class in December. How about now?
Yeah, we were able to add a couple transfers there as well, and one of them's here right now. One of them will be showing up in the spring, and then the continued development of the guys that we have, and we have a bunch of guys coming back in that group as well.
Offensively, what was the approach in the portal?
We have to get faster, and we got to get bigger across the board. That's offense and defense, but we added multiple wide receivers, added a couple quarterbacks, have a high school quarterback coming in as well as 2 tailbacks. So you're always trying to get better, you're always trying to get faster, and it's 2 things at once. You're developing the guys that are here, and you're also trying to recruit, and that's two places right now. It's the portal to get guys that can immediately help you, and then we're always going to recruit the high school players and get guys in here that can develop and become great players for us down the road.
How about the defensive backfield? What was the focus there?
Same thing. We need to get a little longer. We need to get faster. And I did feel like we needed to get more physical on the back end. So we have multiple guys coming in here. Again, transfers that have played at the college level, that have snaps, that have made tackles. And I really like the returning group we have in the secondary as well. So I tell the players all the time, it's their job to get as good as they can possibly be, and it's our job as a staff to bring the best players in we can to help us win. So spring's all about competition and trying to get our team better, but as individuals, they need to try to earn their way on the field.
Man, who's ready for spring ball?
I'm ready to go right now. We had team run this morning, and then we actually are starting spring ball a little bit later this year due to the transfers that we have coming in, and where the portal was. It's going to give us a couple more weeks to practice and have meetings and get them in shape and lift. So spring game will be 1 week later this year.
From your perspective, how was it working with the university, with the athletics department, to make sure that you were able to bring in all the pieces that you wanted to with the tight window of this
They
portal?
were great. The NCAA had a terrible portal window set up in terms of the academic calendar. It is what it is. I mean, school starts in January for these guys, and the university really bent over backwards to help us to be able to get the transcripts evaluated quickly, to have our compliance people sign off on them, to reach out to the other institutions, and to get the guys into class. And they're here to get a degree, and so we had to get a lot of work done in a short period of time to get the guys we wanted here to get enrolled in class. So that's been a positive, and I appreciate all the support they gave us.
If you could count up all the hours that you guys spent looking at the portal this year. How many hours did you
I
do?
stopped doing that a long time ago, man. When I was a GA, one of my GA counterparts, he charted all of his hours for the year. And
Did he really?
And he ended up making like 35 cents an hour as a GA. So after I saw that exercise, I say, it's not the amount of time you spend in it, it's how effective you are with your time. And we did spend a lot of time in the portal and recruiting the portal, just like we do our high school players. But it's at the end of the day, it's are you getting the right people in your locker room?
From a character standpoint within this portal group, what was your main focus of that?
Prior relationships, and it's not 100%, but it's important that we get guys that are serious about going to school, that want to be at Ball State and want to win football games and be a part of what we're doing. But there's a lot of guys that can run and jump and hit. We wanted guys that fit the character profile we wanted. We wanted guys that fit the academic profile that we wanted. So you will see a lot of local guys that are coming back home to the state of Indiana or to the Midwest, and you will see several guys from all over the country that we have relationships with their position coach in college or their high school coach to verify the type of young man we're bringing in here.
All right, Coach, we'll see you in the spring. Can't wait to see this thing unfold.
I'm excited to get to work. The real work starts now. Now we got all the guys in the building, so it's going to be a good spring.